Okay, so let's close that. So, this is the latest version of the marketing site. All right, we added the why Vexilla features section kind of thing. Things that separate us, make us a little bit different. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it seems cool. I just, I don't have that much input or feedback. And, oh, yeah, let's do Geralt's thing real quick. Yeah, it seems cool. I think they recognize that a big portion of their users still want to use Kubernetes so that they don't have to abandon it, which makes a lot of sense to me. But, yeah, I don't do that much Kubernetes on my own time. So I don't know. But yeah, let's look at Geralt's thing. You can send it here. Oh, that's right. Geralt, I forgot that's your original name. I am so sorry. I totally forgot that. Yeah, I was going to say, could you just paste it here? That way we can see it on screen. Yeah, sorry about that, Wolfturn. I completely forgot that. It's why you knew that there's a strict rule for the, you know, the reproduction. So yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, so we're gonna do this. There you go. There you go. I'll cheers you with my water glass. Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you. Ooh, cider and whiskey? Okay, okay. I don't know if I've ever had that. Sounds good. All right, so you're saying here in source, the thing to look at is in solution.tsx. This is where the logic is. Oh, you want us to check out app first. Okay. Let me zoom in a bit. All right, and so let's describe the problem real quick. So click the top input, then on blur, it will load for a second. If you choose to blur by clicking another input, it should not break focus. It currently does. I should probably pop open our main page in our layout. No. It's in our search component. Right? Okay, so this is my hack. The key reason this works is because we need this to happen on the next iteration of the run loop. right? Because in this iteration, the search button ref is actually not available, right? Now, the problem with using a use effect is that use effect is going to run all the time, which makes it a little trickier to try and like focus it from a use effect, because the use effect is going to run on first run, and you don't want to focus that input immediately, right? So I think this is actually the correct way to do this. And all this is doing is kicking it to the next iteration of the run loop. Is there any way to increase the amount of time that you're doing that in? Yeah, let's make this like 3 seconds. Oh. All right, so we blur. Oh, it's going to need to reload. Right, okay, so we see that. The next thing is we click into here. That doesn't work on the first one. I don't think it's working on the other. Right, and the reason you're doing that is because you're disabling the field while it's loading, correct? Correct, okay. Hold on, let me double check something. So instead of app here, you would do solution here? That's fine, it's a default. That's okay. Yeah, it'll totally work. Because you did a default export. Okay, so looking at what you got here. So wait, what is related target? I don't think I've ever used related target. Interesting. I was not aware of that. Okay. Oh, interesting. So that doesn't fix it. Oh, I see. So we have to do it after loading because you can't... Right, here's the basic thing. You're doing a set loading right here, and that is going to toggle it towards the next run of the run loop. So then here, we need to do it towards the next, like the run after that. Or technically after this has been rationalized. So the reason that this wouldn't work in this first part is because this has disabled the field and you can't focus a disabled field, right? So that's a big part of that there. Instead, if we were to do the set timeout here, I think we kick it onto the next run of the loop. Voila. Right? So it's really about the order in which these things are happening. Because set loading false doesn't actually change it until the next iteration. This is not going to be able to focus it until after that change has been rationalized from the VDOM into the DOM, right? So that's the main gist there. Now, keep in mind, a set timeout of 0 is pretty gross. So I would make sure you have a very explicit reason why you're doing this, but a use effect is actually the wrong approach. Right? Especially because you're never resetting the current target. Right? So here's an example of how that current target is actually going to mess things up on repeated runs. So let me just show that real quick. So here in solution, if I click here and then I click to there, we see that that toggles that. If I click here and then click out, oh, it did not do it. Okay, so you are resetting. That's where the related target thing is. Aha, okay. So technically if related target is not there, then it's not going to be a problem. Yeah, related target becomes null. So yeah, the use effect works. I actually like this more because it's actually like due to code locality. Right? The thing that you want to have happen is happening where you're doing the other things that it depends upon. Whereas a use effect ends up moving it. And it becomes this, like, misdirection. Right? So instead, being able to locate these things directly next to each other is hugely valuable, in my opinion. Especially as this component most likely will grow because this is a contrived, smaller example. In a large form, you may have a whole bunch of stuff. Right? So just simply from a readability perspective, everything you need to understand what's happening with this blur is happening within this context. That is true. It is going to batch things, but I'm not positive the set timeout would actually be unstable because React is still going to flush, like, it's going to batch things based on that loop. So everything you're doing within that iteration of the loop is still fine because the set timeout then happens after. Right? It's basically, so Cornflake, the way that's working is, I believe every, like, update or, like, set for this thing is going to happen within one run loop. Right? Because it's all synchronous. Right? So what Cornflake's getting at is that React is going to be smart about it. Every single time you do a set loading of a use state or a set whatever of a use state, without batching things, each change would cause its own re-render theoretically, right? Whereas instead, it's going to change all of those things within one iteration of the loop. So I'm not sure that's actually a problem, but I'd have to see some cases in which this actually does fail. So far as I know, it should be fine, but I don't know. No. So set timeout is explicitly pushing this to after the batch runs, right? So technically, the rationalization of all the set states is going to happen, and then the set timeout happens. So it's just more about like the iteration of the run loop. And hold on, run loop JSConf. Not that one. This one. So this is the way I tend to like keep a mental model, the way he describes the way the loops runs and everything. This is like the perfect visualization in my opinion. He does have a weird section in the middle where he rants about fizzy water. Whatever. Ignore that part. But the rest of it is extremely interesting and actually kind of like becomes very tricky when you recognize that this will change whether you're in the browser or in a service worker or in Node, right? All of them have somewhat different semantics about the run loop. As far as I understand it, though, the set timeout is still going to kick it to the next iteration. Theoretically, after the, the setters, right, of your use states have rationalized the DOM. But I'm not positive on that one. I don't have any benchmarks or tests or ways of fiddling with that. So you might be totally right, Cornflake. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, so as far as I understand it, Cornflake, I think all of those things that get batched into the queue happen before the set timeouts like microtask. Right? On the next iteration of the loop, which is why this works. But I'm not positive. You might totally be right. So is there a better way to do this? Oh, that I don't know. Let me try this. So, let's do this. Use state react. We'll just do that. Boom. So I want to look at their reference here. This takes a second argument, right? So theoretically, you could call flush sync, maybe? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Could you use like the second function that you can pass to a use state? Yeah, let's try that. So it's not going to be in set loading, it's going to be in this part. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, I don't think this works. But this, yeah, so keep in mind, this is like the update function for like atomic updates. Rather than like your, you know, your states possibly overriding each other. I don't think this is going to do it though. Yeah, so that doesn't do it. And yeah, I still think... as far as code locality goes, the way that these kind of like, you know, this is like readable from start to finish. Yeah. No, I don't think so. Nah, I think this just takes in that value. It's not yelling at us, though. Are you sure, Geralt? I thought that was only something you could do at the use state level. I don't think it's in your setter. I'm almost positive it's not in your setter. Maybe not. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm still doing this. Maybe that does work. Nah, it doesn't. Yeah, so no matter what, yeah, that would not work. I didn't realize you could do this, though, so that's interesting. I thought it was only when you're doing, like, when you're doing the use state. So, okay, interesting. Now, will that work? Oh, so Geralt, I mean, you could do that for the setter here, but instead, when you're doing it for use state, you could do the same thing, right? The same way I have new loading and old loading, right? So here, that's where you could actually do that. Like, declaratively. So you could just pass the object you care about and then spread them together or do whatever. So it actually allows you to do the same thing. Yeah, I've always known about this. I didn't realize that the setter had a function version you could do too. Ah, flush sync? Hold on. They said I could do it. Yeah, exactly, right? Ah, it's from React DOM. Nope. All right, so flush sync won't do that either. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see a case in which the set timeout doesn't work. But for the most part, the set timeouts are a hack. So I could definitely understand why it would be frowned upon. Because it is definitely a hack. I think there's value to the code locality of it. think realistically, you could create a custom hook. I think if use effect ends up being the right way to do it, I think a custom hook that abstracts out the use effect could be worthwhile. Let's just say function focusable or focus hook. I don't know. The name is terrible. But yeah, let me think about this. So it would take in as props. We're just hacking on some React stuff just to understand it a bit better. You know, we got other things we want to do for, oh, and I don't have chat on YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. 1 second. If you tried to chat, I didn't see it. Let me pop it out. There we go. And Rizales, thank you for the follow. Yeah, we will be doing feature flagging. Right now, we're just doing a quick little hack on this just to see. And here, we're going to call it... Oh, no. Just takes time, takes practice. You're not going to get thousands of people from the start. The Primogen streamed to like 40 people for a good like year. More than that, but there were times where he had 40. His average was probably higher, but there were days in which he would only have 40, right? Yep. So yeah, focus hook. We're going to say this is going to be target. And we're going to just make it an any for now, because I'm lazy. Oh, did I delete your use effect? Oh, no. No, here it is. So yeah, this is getting ugly, but if we do a loading, we do target, we do... We do relative target. And yeah, this is getting gross, but then what if we have callback? We'll just do any. From there, I guess it's related target. Whatever, hold on. Yeah, something. We'll use loading. Like, again, this is gross. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. Handle blur is then going to be returned by this. Set loading. Yeah. This is where that gets gross, but really, I just messed that part up. There you go, exactly. Yeah, I think this is a fun little thing to hack on real quick, and I just want to see like what this custom hook would look like. So then we're doing, I guess this would be use focus hook. No, yeah, this makes me better, so I'm okay with it. So yeah, then loading is the value we pass into that. Target. This is where... Yeah, this is where you'd end up needing a target for it. Yeah, so you'd end up needing like another one of these. So hold on, let me just do this. I'm gonna paste that. That is not what we're looking for right now. Right, so target ref. I'm not sure that was necessary. Hold on. We don't need the target ref, do we? No, I don't think we do. Maybe Victa's. I think the key is that maybe a bit of like coupling of that logic. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I think, yeah, because Geralt there is actually like giving us a really contrived example anyway. So we're not sure. Yeah, I think we want to try and keep it as minimal as possible. All right, so we didn't need that. We got 3 arguments we passed. That's the callback. And I'm not positive this is going to work. Keep that in mind. Okay, hold up. Oh, I see. Where is it? This needs to be async. Oh, and I forgot to pass the loading state, right? And instead of related target ref.current, never mind, hold on. We want this, yep. In this use effect, this would just be related target. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be working right. Why? Yeah, this might be a bit of a hack. Let me double check, though. Oh, well, that's definitely not going to work. So it's this part right here inside of that async function. Related target ref is that dot current is equal to instead, I might want to be passing related target like the full ref, which is interesting. So we pass the whole ref. And then these go back to dot current. Oh, yep, that was it. That was totally it. That was 1000% it. So hold on, let's undo that. Yeah, good call, good call. We needed E right there. Oh, not there. There. Okay, so related target is still null. Yeah, alright, so we may end up needing to encapsulate the use ref into it and just returning the reference out. At which point, like, I don't think it simplifies the code that much. Yeah, so I think this was a failed experiment. I think it was worth a shot, though. There might be some way to do this, and we'd have to, like, noodle with it a bit more, but I want to get back to my code. So yeah, sorry. I would say try and thoroughly test the set timeout. Try and throttle your CPU. Things like that, and see if that causes issues. Try and like use it in a larger form that has a lot more set states going on. My guess is that from a theoretical standpoint, set timeout's no good. But from a practical standpoint, it probably works. So yeah, I think set timeout still, like, as far as code readability goes, has a major win. Hold on, let's go all the way back. Get it where we need it. Yeah, so, I don't know. As far as code locality and readability go, for me, this is an easier function to grok than the use effect that may be separated by a whole bunch of different, different places. Technically, this handle blur, you could even define inline, right? Right, so in the case where you're doing this inline, which is where I was doing it before, right, this ends up being far more readable because your use effect would be way outside of the context if you're doing an inline function like this. So that's where I would say you get massive readability because this could be really deep within like a larger component that you just haven't broken up yet. At which point, having all that context in one place, I think matters a lot. But I would definitely make sure you leave a good comment above the timeout about why you're doing it that way. Because this is a hack. Exactly. A comment about it would be really, really useful. Hence, that. Right? Like, boom. Yeah, no worries, Geralt. I just wanted to double check that. I learned a lot fiddling with it a bit. Keep in mind this... the video about the run loop might help make some of it make sense a little bit more. If you haven't watched that again, let me just double check. This is for everyone else that might have just joined. But yeah, I don't know. It's working for what I'm using it for, but I'm not doing a terribly complicated component, so expecting it to kick to the next event loop is totally rational. And damn! Acorn! Did Acorn get the Primogen raid or something? Yup. Hell yeah. Massively deserved. Killing it. And damn, it's already almost 4. Yeah, I can have a beverage. Yeah, no worries, girl. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. Okay, so here's our marketing site. I'd say the documentation section's pretty good. Let's go look at our task board. Horizontal scroll bar on Windows. Ooh, right. Let me double check and fiddle with it over on the Windows machine real quick. Yep, that's totally it. That looks pretty good to me. Yep. So I just need to change those W screens to W full. Yeah, someone even made that comment previously, and sorry for not doing it that quick. They were totally right. Ooh, but were they? I think this ran into mobile bugs. Where? Where do you see sub-only mode? Oh, and hey, what's up, Fishman Reacts? Sorry, didn't mean to leave you hanging. That was like an hour ago. I am so sorry, man. Man, I am sorry, Fishman. Yeah, what are you up to? I really hope you're still out there. I got distracted again. I mean, streamers have a thing they can do. Oh, interesting. Where they can enable, like, subs to be the only ones that chat. It's usually a terrible idea. I would not recommend it to anybody. I know, right? I was like, well, no, I saw Victa's chatting, so I don't think it's on, right? Can someone who's not a mod chat real quick? Just to be sure? Yeah, it's not on. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're gonna get this pushed up. We'll let that stew for a bit, and then I'll have to test it on my phone just to see what happens. I think the W screen thing is what we ended up doing to fix a mobile issue. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But the part I want to dig into right now it should be a great time to reproduce our time zone bug. So let's try and run those tests. We don't have that server running, so it will fail. Ah, my hair is scratching my face. All right, so that test server's running. This should now work. We do expect some tests to fail still. Yep. All right, so that test was expected to fail, and we believe it is due to our time zone issue. Right? This test is going to fail later during the during step instead of the before step. I believe in testing units that need to be tested. on the front end, but I don't believe in any kind of like bare minimum test coverage for unit tests for the front end. Now, if you can get good test coverage from your end-to-end tests, that would be nice. I believe, yeah, end-to-end testing for the front end is your most value. Because a 100% unit test coverage will not prevent a CSS bug, right? And it won't even catch a CSS bug. Ooh, so optics, for something like that, I would establish snapshot testing instead. But it becomes really fuzzy because no one actually looks at what's changing with the snapshot when they need to update it. So they become really fuzzy and kind of worthless that way. But you can at least get your coverage numbers up. But no, I don't believe in those tests. I believe in, for the front end, end-to-end tests that can actually click through your application and do the thing that it needs to do. However, there are cases where you have certain things that need unit testing. There are certain cases, right? Utility functions, you know, things like that. Business logic that you can encapsulate into a pure function, absolutely. Unit test those. But unit testing your entire front end, that's pointless, right? Checking to see if the H1 is there? Ugh. Right? That's a lazy test just to hit some, you know, minimum test coverage, right? That's the exact worst kind of test because it's just there to hit a test coverage number rather than to actually be useful. And any test that is there just to hit a test coverage number is actually tech debt. Right? It's something you have to maintain and keep up to date and change when you change everything about it, right? Yeah. I firmly believe in doing end-to-end tests for the front end, especially for your happy path, right? The thing that gets you paid or whatever, right? Because again, my point stands. You can have the entire thing unit tested, right? 100% unit test coverage, and it will never catch the fact that a button might be unclickable due to bad CSS. It will never catch that. Right? Because it's no longer a unit test if you're having a browser evaluate these things. Right? As an example, that thing we were just doing with the focus. I would find that really hard to unit test, and I'd rather wire up an end-to-end test. I just think it would be easier that way. But yeah, I am fundamentally against a bare minimum unit test coverage number for the front end. For the back end, I could see it working, right? Because mocking things there is a little more straightforward. But you got to be careful as you're tempted to mock things. The more you mock, the more you end up just testing your mocks instead of your actual logic. AJ's the man. Let me double check email. Yep, that's all that was. Cool. So yeah, again, Fishman, I am sorry. I really hope you're still out there. Maybe you came back. I definitely left you hanging on your comments. And yeah, anyone who's willing to leave a lurk over on YouTube, you'd be helping me out. We're already at 1,750 watch hours. We need to hit 4K within the next 6 months, I think. I think we can do it. Anyone who's just now getting here, you totally missed out on a sneak preview of my next actual YouTube video, not just a VOD. But okay, so we're looking at our source code for scheduling here. This is in test client. Okay, yep. Now I want to check something here. Can we do a dot end of? We can. Yep. That is way nicer. Which means we can do start of as well. I'm sorry, fall away. I must have missed it. Oh, yeah, I saw the, hello, how's it going in life? Yeah, my bad. We were caught up. That's my bad. We were in the middle of something. Yeah, thank you, Victus. We'll see you again soon. I do plan on trying to start earlier in the day. I will be doing that eventually. It means I got to start setting an alarm in the morning. Ugh. But yeah, what up, Mr. Bankster? All right, so yeah, this start of, end of, that was nice. That was real nice. Here we have to do those, right? That's fine. Yeah, they're actually not good for you. It's really not good for your heart to be, like, jolted awake that quickly. An alarm that, like, slowly, like, builds up is definitely preferred. But even then, I still wake up, you know, frantic at hearing it. That's the biggest, like, flaw and problem with it. It tends to interrupt your dream at the worst time. Hey, what's up, Turdy? How you doing? Today? Getting your body warm? Ooh, so there's a tricky part to that fall away. The cocoon of your blankets is the warmest place. Leaving that is actually a thing I dread. I can just sit there cocooned up for a couple hours instead of actually just getting out into the cold. I might just stay in the cocoon. And I gotta be careful with these cocoon statements. The older I get, the more I'm gonna feel like Wilford Brimley. Don Amici, I think he was in it too, right? I'm talking literally about the movie Cocoon. I haven't seen that in ages. I'm hoping Cocoon lands on Tubi TV soon. Oh, I think I see what you're saying, Fallaway, right? Like, if you could set your alarm to turn on an electric blanket, right? Your body would start, like, heating up, and it would probably wake you up automatically. Yeah. I've been thinking about wiring up, like, you know, the blanket would be tricky because still, like, it would encourage the cocoon effect. Whereas instead, if you had it, like, kick on your, like, house's heating, right, the outside of the blanket would be just as warm as the inside, and you'd have more incentive to get out of the cocoon. So, yeah, I get you. I see what you're saying, Fall Away. Waking up in a pool of sweat? Yeah, maybe. Natural sunlight? Ooh, I've had my blinds, like, kicked a bit to where light was working its way in way too early in the day, and I fixed that. So yeah, less sunlight is the way I operate. But yes, when I used to live in my van as a snowboard bum, yeah, I would basically wake up at a certain time of the day just simply because I had to, because the sun wouldn't let me get any more sleep. It was really nice, just like perfectly natural wake up time. Yeah, it was really good, actually. But Joshua Abraham, no, it's not Comic Sans, it's actually Dorama Sans. Oh, really, Bankster? For me, camping, it's like being too cold. Yeah, if I wake up and my feet are frozen, I might as well just get up and get moving anyway. Yeah, no worries, Joshua. I get it. We get it a lot here. The font and its ligatures that you might see. Hold on, let's find one. Let's find one. We don't have a thick arrow there. Hold on. Here we go. Have you ever seen a smoother thick arrow in your life? I don't think so. Right? There's no edges on that thick arrow. Smooth sailing. Go with the flow. Hold on, what's the phrase I used to say back in the day? How's your code gonna flow if your font doesn't flow? Nailed it. Marketing. All right, so here in scheduling, oh, this doesn't even have our fix. All right, yeah, so we got to go look at another client and bring that logic over, actually. We'll go to the Go code, because why not? But yeah, it turns out our JS client is actually out of sync with the rest, because we're not actually doing a very specific thing within this, like, daily type. So let's go find where we're doing that over in scheduling here. And yeah, this function's large. I want to start, right, for the client SDKs I'm making. I do think unit test coverage and, you know, getting like 100% coverage or at least 90% is worthwhile because it's library code, and I believe library code should be fully unit tested to as much as it can, right? Like a component library That's trickier. But library code, yeah. Martis. Wait. What do you mean by the Mr. Bean routine? Oh. Like, right? Boom, I nailed it. That was the face, wasn't it? Oh. Right? Yeah. You can tell I've watched Mr. Bean recently. So much so that what's the name of this teddy bear? It's Rupert, right? It's Rupert, isn't it? Oh, with this the custom alarm. Well, I don't remember the custom alarm. I probably saw the episode. There's only like 2 seasons of it, right? It's crazy. You know, watching Mr. Bean back in the day. Oh, there had to have been like 6 seasons, right? No, there's only 2. But the fact that they have like multiple episodes or like scenes or whatever, like, you know, skits, I guess. Like situations. It's technically a sitcom, isn't it? The fact that they had like 3 situations per episode, I think is why that was misleading. But yeah, there's only 2 seasons of Mr. Bean. And there's only 6 episodes per season. But because of the fact that he's doing 2 or 3 situations per episode, it makes it feel like it's way more than that. So that's, yeah, it's curious. Your brain actually might separate out the situations per episode into their own episodes without realizing that they're only like 8 to 10 minutes long each. So this is the logic that we care about right here. We're going to recreate that logic verbatim, exactly, and then we're going to fiddle with it. So this is the part, right? So we've got current day with start time, current day with end time. I don't think we actually want that in our Go code either. Technically, we're getting our zeroed times and today 0 time. So we actually need to do this part too. Which means all of it needs to be commented. Right? You know, that part, of course, that's a comment because that's the Go logic. This right here, though, we're going to put up with these. And we're going to comment that whole thing right there. So that now we can do this. So const 0 day is equal to, and then this would be day.js 0. And that should give us the 1970 right there. right? Now timestamp, that'll be equal to... Do we have now defined elsewhere? Current time? Yep. Yep, that one's fine. Actually, no, we want this to dot, what is it, dot UTC? No. So this would be dot Unix. That makes that a number, right? Yep. Oh. Okay, yeah. And yeah, what's everyone up to? How's your holiday weekend or week going, right? How do you like my festive beanie? Are people working this week still, or are you basically like on vacation this week? Even if you're technically on the job this week, are most people out of the office so that you can't get enough done anyway? So it's basically your own vacation too? Yeah, everyone's out, Geralt. Exactly, right? So like, oh, hey, that thing you needed, yeah, there's no deadline for it this week because everyone's out. But if you need me, I'm here, which means it's basically a vacation for you too, right? Yeah, no prod deploys this week. Hell no. Hell no. Yeah, that would be the worst. This is just one big long Friday. Right? This week is one big long Friday. There you go, Rumpel. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, right, you used to get the whole week anyway. Now you're working still, but you just don't do anything in prod. Yep, told you. Yeah, that's good. Take this week to learn Storybook? Oh, that's huge, Geralt. Yeah, are you guys going to be designing, like, your own design system at work? I had the pleasure of starting work on one of those, and, man, yeah, I'm really happy with how we, like, with the progress we made. We didn't end up getting an entire, like, design system, though. We got a lot of what we needed done design-wise in, like, the Figma. I helped align our color system for semantic color values rather than hard-coded, like, specific color values. So we end up using primary and secondary and, like, you know, semantic names for these things that are defined from the color palettes we have elsewhere. So, yeah, like, you know, new blue or some BS, right, is abstracted away from our consumption, which means you only change it in one place where the color values are defined. I'm really happy I helped lead that effort. Like, dude, there was a lot that I did at this job that I really, like, forget about when I actually start, like, when I need to, like, shout it out. We did a lot of really good work towards, like, maintainable code. So yeah, I'm really happy about it. That said, you know, they had to tighten their bootstraps. If they do end up getting a bunch of funding this next year because interest rates already went down, I'd consider some contracting to help them, you know, rationalize what we got in the code base that, you know, they're not going to have context for. Because I really like the company I worked for. Like, Fairwinds is awesome. The people, the product, I think is really cool. But, yeah, you know. They got to work out their budget stuff, and I need to get a new job here soon. So I may not have full-time work I can give them, but I would absolutely be happy to do some contracting to help them, like, at least onboard people into some of the stuff we changed. I would be totally fine with that. If anything, I really liked the boss I had. He was super cool, man. I don't want to say his name because that's doxing a bit, and, you know, don't want to do that. But man, yeah. Like, my immediate boss, she was awesome. Her boss, which is the one I'm referencing right now, super awesome. Like, dude. Yeah, when the layoffs happened, I could see it in his face. He was not happy. He was super bummed. Like, very, like, awesome, conscientious dude. So yeah, I'd be happy to work with him on anything in the future. Yeah, Mr. Bankster, there's a quote. People don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. That's like really just, yeah, the totality of it. People don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. A previous job I was at, a bunch of people left because of that boss. They were only able to rehire one of them after that boss left. Ooh, so real quick, before we get hot and heavy into porting this logic, let me go grab some water. And we're going to pour another beverage. And we're going to keep hacking at this. As far as plans for tonight, gaming-wise, I'll do a probably like easy cooking meal, right? Just some like fried chicken or something. Like the pre-prepared fried chicken, I just fire up the fryer. Might do some fries with it, but I'm feeling kind of lazy on that one right now, too. Yeah, I could do it. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think as far as what we do tonight, probably need to do a little bit of the WoW stuff just to like keep leveling so I can get to 25 so I can actually like raid with the rest of them. I want to do some editing, right? Technically, I think editing's good. There might be something I could do to get rid of a bunch of the room noise, which I'll try and figure out. And I'll need to just hack out, like, the blog post for the video I want to do, too. We could actually do that here on stream if I solve this time zone bug soon enough. So I think that's a good move. Yeah. We're going to hack out this logic that we have discovered in other SDKs that didn't make it back to this SDK. We're going to re-implement that logic, and then we're going to fiddle with making this work based on time zones. Now, I've only got like another hour or so before like the time zone thing fails us, but realistically, I should be able to make that work via scheduling unit tests as well, right? So in this test scheduling function, there's most likely some other test I need to schedule or to create that would actually validate what we're looking for. So we'll do that too. But for now, we're going to hack out the rest of this logic. Let me go grab some more water. I'm going to pour another beverage. I'm glad to be done editing that last video. I'm glad y'all didn't have any major feedback on like what I needed to change editing-wise. That's good. Just some sound stuff. That's easy. And yeah, I should have a YouTube video here live about macros in JavaScript and TypeScript in the next either tomorrow or the day after. So that'll be fun. So let me go grab water. BRB. Oh. My hip just popped. That's not good. Sorry for stepping away. And all right, so yeah, what's everyone up to? Anything fun? We had some people shout out what they're doing. Alrighty. And oh man, there's like a hair in my ear or something. Wait. Alright, so 0 day is that, now timestamp is that. Today, 0 timestamp, that would be start of. We're gonna call this start of today timestamp, and that's equal to current time dot start of. Oh, nice, Oscriptor. You might have a bit of a delay going. Right? I'm guessing that's a response to me asking, like, hey, what's everyone up to? If you do have a large delay, I would recommend refreshing and then changing the quality of stream just like down to like maybe 480p or something like that. I try and have a large enough font that you can still read at 480p. But yeah, just throwing that out there, you know, just letting you know. I feel like there was a bit of a delay there. Figured I'd shout that out if you're not aware. So 0 day dot set Yep, that's how we do it. Yeah, hour. Start time and end time are figured out there already. So yeah, this would just be start time dot hour. Minute, different thing. But yeah, sorry, Oscriptor. Yeah, I still wanted to respond to that. That's awesome, man. So, PHP Swagger, what does that involve? Are you consuming a thing, or you're creating the spec for your thing, right? How does that work? Is that basically like a doc block or like a doc tag or whatever? Is it like a comment above your handler function or whatever? Right? Like, what framework are you using that does that, or is that just directly PHP Swagger? Yeah, I'm curious, Cryptor. So, yep, let us know. Oh, wrong place. All right, so that's our zeroed start time. We want a zeroed end time as well. Okay, yeah, so if you haven't seen it, hold on, do I have a good example of that? There's a similar thing in Next. So Next, Swagger? Next Swagger doc. Yeah. Yeah, there's a similar thing in TypeScript where you would do a doc block like that. I actually massively dislike doc blocks because you could actually add props that don't validate to that, and you wouldn't find out until you try and build it. Whereas it's nice to get that the moment you make the mistake in your editor. I've done a similar thing using a decorator, but decorators only work on classes. But oh man, yeah. You get like type safety right there within your editor. So if PHP ever gets like decorators or attributes, I guess is another way to phrase it, annotations in the same way, right? Basically like functions that decorate other functions. I can make a PHP version too. But yeah, sounds cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I fundamentally just don't like things that use doc blocks because it requires editor-specific tooling to parse that doc block. And anything you're doing based upon editor support actually makes it harder for you to like maintain because editors spring up more often than languages do, right? So if an editor has language support for the thing you're doing, then you're already there no matter what editor it is. So let's just say some new editor comes out and they tie into the Go language server, etc. Well, then at that point, boom, you're just using Go. So as far as some of the like infrastructure as code tools go, I think there's a lot more power to language-specific SDKs versus creating your own custom language. Right? Your own custom language ends up being the same amount of overhead as your own custom doc block, in my opinion. Because again, you need to write editor-specific tooling to parse what this is, to make sure that it's actually accurate and meeting a certain spec, etc. And I think editor-specific tooling is the wrong way to go, right? Because some new editor might spring up, and users of it just can't use your thing. Hey, Naders, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for that sub. So, in your name, is the neigh like a horse thing? Like neigh is for horses? Oof. Yeah, I just turned a dad joke on, like, up upon itself, right? I flipped that dad joke, didn't I? Oh, here's my question, actually. Is your name actually Nate? Feel free to not dox yourself. Your name is Nate. Nailed it. Yeah, I'm really proud of that. I just came up with that. Neigh is for horses. Ooh, who's ever had someone say hay is for horses to them? Neigh is for horses. Boom. Nailed it. But yeah, no worries, Nate. Thank you for chilling. Sorry for doxing you. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. That was right there off the cuff, in the moment. Brand new dad joke. You're welcome. Are you a naysayer? Neigh is for horses. Boom. Nailed it. Right? Let's get some yes men in here. Horses go neigh for hay. I mean, technically they like the hay, so they don't go neigh for the hay. Hey, seems like your delay is way lower there, Cryptor. Awesome. Did you try my trick? All right, let's keep hacking at this thing. We are going to need timestamps. These are not timestamps. Restarted Twitch, kept same resolution. Oh, when you say restarted Twitch, are you on mobile? Because mobile has an automatic, like, 30-second delay. I think that's something that, like, the cell phone companies are doing at their, like, access points, just in case there might be another person that could opt into that same video feed. They can serve that video feed from a cache on the access point rather than fetching it from the whole internet. I'm willing to bet money that's how that's happening, but I don't know. I've never seen it. On mobile, but on Wi-Fi, though? Oh, interesting. So that flips the way I'm thinking about it. I feel like Twitch might be the one imposing the 30-second delay. At which point, maybe Twitch is doing that for caching reasons. Which would be weird. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Is it Wi-Fi you own? Delay is gone now? Okay, cool. So you just needed to restart. My question is simply like, keep an eye on it, and if it starts feeling like it's getting longer and longer, that might actually still be related, right? Like just due to the quality. So if it feels like the delay is getting longer, I would say try lowering quality a bit and refresh again and see if that works. Just as a hunch. I haven't had that issue myself specifically, but I do know that a lot of people that do watch on mobile devices using Twitch, I haven't actually asked if they were doing it via Wi-Fi or cell. It kind of like throws a wrench in the situation if it's not on cell network, because then it's not like, you know, like access point specific. I could see it being app specific at some point, which is interesting. Huh. Okay. And damn, Naders, you almost went an entire year. Oh, you were like, just like 2 weeks away from an entire year of following the channel without chatting. Oh, wow, you were so close. You almost did it. I mean, I had to look. I was just curious, you know. I saw the first time chat and I was like, oh man, yeah, thanks for the sub. And then I clicked it and yeah, that was crazy. Like almost an entire year. Now this might be just a shot in the dark, and you don't have to say whether I'm right or not. Are you Nate from Astro? Are you Astro, Nate? It might line up with when I proposed the 4321. Okay, you're not Astro, Nate. You didn't have to confirm or deny, but thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. Just curious, you know. Just curious, no big deal. I don't actually remember the date that I proposed 4321 for Astro. I'm still so proud of that. That is like my greatest contribution to open source. Anyone here using Astro and sees the 4321, you know, port that it spins up on by default? I did that. Technically, they did that and I just suggested it, but I'm going to claim ownership, right? Come on. All right, let's keep hacking at this. Zeroed start, zeroed end. We don't want to do the timestamps yet, so let's get rid of that part, because we're not ready for that. So zeroed start, zeroed end. The timestamps we can do after. I don't think we actually needed to separate those, but I think it's worth it. Ooh, hold on, though. No, we did want that. Start of today timestamp is that. Now timestamp is that. Yeah, we're good. I'm not sure we're going to need now timestamp, actually. But we've at least ported those chunks of code. Yep, that one goes away too. This is our next bit. So I just want to say I really like the day.js API. It's just so like intuitive and like readable, right? Add one day, like it reads like a sentence, you know? That said, date functions is amazing, and date functions version 3 just came out recently. Let's just go to my profile. Yeah. I just want to shout out the tweet. Yeah, here it is, right? Date functions v3 is out. I'd say check it out right now. See if you can upgrade. The minimal size is 200 bytes. No more runtime type checking. A full TypeScript rewrite, right? String arguments are back. Like, dude, like, they put a lot of work into it. They no longer have IE support, and I think that's what allowed them to get to this, like, minimal size. As far as, like, tree shaking and all that junk goes. ESM support, no more default exports. Yeah, like, man. Yeah, this dev's awesome. They kill it. They are really good. Here's a blog post about it. Ooh, I didn't read the blog post, actually. It is now 100% TypeScript. Legit. Okay, so I hadn't heard of UTC date. Oh, wait, no. So it's just a date class extension. Yeah, Nori's fall away. Like, yeah, it's really good. I have used projects that used date functions, and it was awesome every single time. Really good stuff. Currently, I tend to reach for day.js, but meh, whatever. They used to be generating their types from JSDoc. Now it's fully TypeScript. Oh my god, the generated types were a 23,000 lines of code monster. Oh my god. Yikes. So yeah, to ensure date functions provides first-class TypeScript support, they rewrote it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I still got the Neff showing. Technically, the under beanie is Neff. The over beanie is just something I bought on Amazon. I'm a huge fan of Neff. I've gotten free Neff beanies for like a decade. At least. Like more than a decade. If I want another Neff beanie, I can just ask my friend for him, right? Yeah, I'm doing the double beanie because this is crocheted. This would be so damn itchy. Whereas this is like knit. This is so that I'm not scratching my forehead the entire time. Granted, I kind of did that anyway, but yeah. And yes, I mean, snowboard sponsors, no, my friend is the regional rep. from snowboarding back in the day, but he was actually a regional rider back when I was a rider too. But he ended up going into being a rep for, like, you know, the company that we both rode for, which is Rome. And then as a Rome rep, he actually represents Neth, Von Zipper, One Ball J, Rome, right? I think there's another one, but maybe I'm forgetting that. But yeah, through that rep, I have gotten free all of that stuff for a while. Now, I didn't get it last year. Maybe I can go to the event and, like, help out this year. We'll see. I'll just go hang out and maybe buy some shit from him this year. Like, you know, I don't mind. Yeah, for the past, like, 10 years or so, like, since I've gotten out of the snowboard game, like, you know, out of, like, trying to be, like, a sponsored rider, etc., I've just been helping them out, like, once or twice a year at, like, one event. Technically, if they needed me at another, I'd drive to it. Because it's a nice time to go and fucking drink and party with I would consider him one of my best friends. Yeah, I'd have a blast at that. I feel bad I didn't go to his birthday last year because my car had just been broken into and I was still without a job. So driving to Oregon with a broken window would have sucked. But yeah, I hope to go hang out at his birthday this year. I will make that a thing. But yeah, snowboard time. Best time of my life. Wouldn't change it for the world. It gave me so much perspective. Yeah, it was the best. The best. Sure, my career was put on hold. I didn't know I wanted to be a programmer when I got out of high school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Hell no. Had zero clue. And honestly, I kind of missed the worst part of web development anyway. Who here was a web dev during the 2000s? Like, actually, like an employed professional web dev during the 2000s. That shit kind of sucked, didn't it? Right? The aughts. Yeah, I'd love to hear from the old timers. So you've been a dev since 2006. Okay, I get that, Coden. I started doing anything dev related in 2008, and it was like coming out of the worst parts of that decade for dev. You ever made a Flash website? I actually did during that time. For the last 20 years. So, yep. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. Front page Flash and Dreamweaver. There you go. There you go. Webmaster. Ooh, that is a term that some kids these days don't even know. What's a webmaster? Oh my. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And hold up, WTF Hex, did you used to have a different name? I don't want to dead name you, only do so if you care about it. You used to have a different name though, right? Oh, no. Etten. That's right. You actually shouted that out and let me know back in July, and I forgot. I'm sorry, Etten. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. I had to go look. I cheated. Yeah, I have logs. It's not like my brain is that amazing and I can remember everything that's ever been chatted. No. No. I do have a fairly insane memory, but it's stuffed to the brim with movie quotes. So, like, real life, it's real life takes a back seat to movie quotes, for sure. Martis, you're probably right, but I disagree. I think the 2000s had a somewhat unique perspective on the web evolving and growing that is actually just part of, like, the growing pains of the web itself. Right? As far as pop culture is concerned, in the 2000s, the web was, 5 years old at the beginning of, like, 2001, 2002? How many people actually interacted with the internet before 1996? I didn't. And I'm almost 40, man. Right? There are people that way, sure. But here's my point there, Four Wheel. Like, I think it was part of the first, 15 to 20 years of the web figuring out what it needed to be. Right? And it's why things like Java applets and ActiveX and Flash were what they are. Ultima Online wasn't released until 97 or 98. You might have been in on the beta, which could have been 96. But I don't remember Ultima until 98. It wasn't mainstream until 1998. Hold on. Yeah, they're saying initial release date September 97, so I probably didn't see it till, early 98. But if you were in on the beta, you could have easily been 96. I believe the beta was happening during 1996. Right, where they were, testing the ecology and scalability and, the death of Lord Blackthorn or whatever his name was. But yeah, just saying, Coden. I played a shitload of Ultima Online, and I was there very early. I was there before Second Age. I was there before all that stuff. But I wasn't there on, initial release, and I wasn't in the beta. No, so it's easy because I have very, simple milestones of, my youth. The milestones are, which state was I living in at that time, and how long was it since we had moved to the new place, right? Because I moved something like 13 or 14 times before I was even the age of 13. My parents were computer contractors. We went where the money was good. Yes, I played on dial-up four-wheel. So in Ultima Online, with dial-up, you would run 3 steps, and then it would pause, and then you'd run another 3 steps, and then it would pause, and then you'd run another 3 steps, and then it would pause. Which was actually fine. Yeah, Coden remembers. Yeah, Coden totally remembers. Yeah, the good old 56K. Yep. No, 56K, you were right. Ooh, yeah, Mr. Bangster, not just AOL. At that point, I think we moved on from AOL, and we were using stuff like NetCheap. There was another one that was free. Who here remembers some of those services? You broke up with a girlfriend because she called while you were online in an MMO and you didn't have call waiting. So the next day after the DC, you broke up with her. Oof. Oh, damn, Rumple. That is cold. Yeah, Net Zero. That was the name of it. Net Zero and some other, like, cheap or free dial-up, like, access points I totally used. Ooh, MIRC? Yeah, we're past statute of limitations, but that was, like, I saw the movie American Pie a month before it was actually in theaters. Because of IRC. I heard the Marshall Mathers LP 2 months before it was released. Because of IRC. I also may, or may not, have sold burned copies of the Marshall Mathers LP. $5 a piece, no big deal. Before it was even released. Yeah. These are things that are past statute of limitations, and I'm not proud of it, and I don't actually endorse anyone doing it themselves. But this is a thing, right? It's a thing that happened. I might owe Eminem like $1,000. I don't think he's sweating it. I don't think he minds. I might owe $1,000 to Eminem. Possibly more. Ooh, and Martis. No, I get your point about, like, the same stuff in 20 years. Yeah, right. The era we're living in right now is going to be the pre-AI era. And people will look at it in the same way at that point. Yeah, I think, Chaotic, you're totally right. I think Eminem can live without that $1,000. But it made my life way better. Like, right? You know, just saying. Did I ever hack TiVos? No, TiVos were actually something I never touched. We had digital cable. For, like, you know, the last, like, 2 or 3 years of high school for me. So, like, TiVo never made any sense because I just had digital cable instead, and that was fine. That worked great. Yeats. Hey, Yeats, thank you for the follow. If I'm saying your name wrong, can you tell me a better way to say it? Would you prefer me to, like, say the last part, like the baton part? That's up to you. It's your name. I'm probably not going to say the whole thing, though. Yitzhak. I can say Yitzhak. I'm not swearing in Turkish or something, am I? I'm not swearing in Turkish, right? Oh, Hebrew? Oh, really? That's Yiddish? Yeah, I didn't equate Yiddish to that spelling. Okay, but I mean, Turkey's right there, so it makes sense. Oh, so hold on. It's like legitimately Hebrew, not Yiddish. Oh, my bad. I guess I'm fuzzy on the difference. Yiddish is like the old school version, right? That's like what's in the Torah or whatever. But Hebrew is what you actually speak now? Is that like the separation there? Yeah, my bad. Like, Yiddish is, like, old-timey, right? Oh, Yiddish is a mix of German and Hebrew. I didn't know that. Okay. Huh. I did not know that either. All right. Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, a portion of my family is actually German Jewish, but I'm so far separated from any of that. Like, I don't even know the percentage or any of that stuff. Whatever. I just live my life. I think heritage is something that gets warped and distorted, and I don't like focusing on it anyway. Personally. Yeah, I am what I am, right? Popeye mentality. Right? The world would be better off with Popeye mentality. Exactly, Yitzhak. I fully embrace and encourage that mentality. Thank you. Medical purposes is a very good reason they're chaotic. Yes, I do have skin cancer in my family, so I hide from the sun every chance I get. Yep. The sun's trying to kill me. It's trying to kill all of us, but it has like an easier way of doing so for me. So I gotta be real careful. Which is why I beanie up and I long sleeve up anytime I go outside. I don't give a shit. I'll pick the thinnest long sleeve I got. But no, yeah, if the sun is gonna be like hitting me, no. Long sleeve time. Hopefully the only like problem I gotta deal with is gonna be right here on my nose, and it's really obvious and easy, so I can make sure it happens quick. Right? We remove whatever is malignant. Ooh, four-wheel. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, same thing in my family, too. We've got longevity, except for the people that died early. I think the largest case of the people that died early, though, their problem was they flew in an airplane in the 1950s or whatever, you know? So yeah, they died. I had a great uncle who has some library named after him. I don't know if it's still named after him. I forget what college it's even at. But I have a great uncle. There's like the Griffin family library somewhere. I don't fucking know. He flew his family somewhere and then they all died because the plane crashed. Technically, it was most likely they like flew to an elevation they shouldn't have, and like the oxygen wasn't rich enough, and they died because of that. Right? This is again like 1950s, maybe 1960s. Might be even older than that. I don't know. No. That uncle's cash, other than my dad's affluent lifestyle while he was growing up, I never saw any of that shit. And really, my dad's affluent lifestyle was due to my grandfather establishing drive-in movie theaters in like the Albuquerque, New Mexico, California area. Chances are, if you lived in Albuquerque during, I want to say, the 60s and 70s, you probably went to a drive-in movie theater that my grandfather owned. But I ain't seen none of that money. My dad saw it. I ain't seen none of that shit. Yeah, exactly, four-wheel. But because of it, my dad got to meet like movie stars and shit. He got to like take a ride on the Queen Mary, you know? All that meant for my life is that My parents were programmers, and they got to live that life. Maybe WTF hacks. Like, no, like, the thing that killed drive-in movie theaters was HBO. Oh, you mean the center console that separated, like, the front bucket seat? Yeah, I get you there. Yep. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. Hacks, yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, you used to be able to, like, scooch over on that front, like, you know, big seat, right? Because it was a bench instead of, like, a bucket seat, right? It made smooching at a drive-in movie way harder to do, right? But you could always move to the back seat and be fine. Hey-o. Station wagon for the win. Oh, yeah, exactly. Nature finds a way. Oh, Blake, you are not wrong. Like, 1,000% correct on that statement. Yeah, nature finds a way. Damn, Acorn is fucking killing it. So she got the Prime raid, like, hours ago. She was at 500 something after, like, the numbers shake out. And she's at 400 now, which means she is killing it. Prime is going to prioritize a raid to her stream because she is holding those numbers so well. So yeah, Acorn, fucking killing it. Awesome. Yeah, really stoked. Good job, Acorn. The job interviews. Yes, I have a couple follow-ups to do, right? Next steps, etc. Like follow-up interviews and some of those things. Absolutely. I need to, tonight, actually schedule some of these things, or at least show them my availability. Currently, the ones that I'm getting follow-ups from are the ones that someone actually, like, recommended me for. So, I'm going to say this right now. Build up a network of people that you can reach out to give you that boost in HR. Yeah, like, if you have someone that, like, if you know someone that works at a company, their boost to recommending you, at the bare minimum, right, they might even make some money off of it. They might even make, like, a referral bonus if it's a successful hire based upon their, like, referral. And companies that do that, that's a huge, awesome move, right? Referrals are basically everything. Getting a cold call and making it work is tough. I am Lish, yeah. And how you doing, Elisha? Mr. Sir. Dude, it's so good to see you. Hold on, I'm gonna do this right now. That way I don't forget, because I should have done this ages ago. I really trust you, like you. You're the best, man. Yeah, the stuff you guys have been doing. Like, I love seeing every new video, like, things that you, like, you and Johnny, like, promote, etc. Like, super cool. But yeah, the company I was recently at, Fairwinds, had to do a layoff. Still the best company I've ever worked for. So cool. Yeah, fairwinds.com. Best company I've ever worked for. Fresh is a close second. Absolutely. Symmetra's way down below that. Oh, yeah. Right? Should have known. Symmetra would operate like an insurance company. Depends on the role. I really haven't reached out because I feel like I did burn that bridge. with the Symmetra thing. If y'all ever want to, like, promote something you're doing, I'll do it for free. Like, yeah, right? Not even a fee. If you want to come on stream and chat about something that you and Johnny have done, dude, yeah, bring Johnny too. Yeah, we can do a stream thing. I don't mind at all. I'd love to promote that stuff. Again, I really like Fresh. I got to learn and do so much at Fresh that really, like, man, leveled me up as an engineer. I don't think I did. I don't know. That's up to Jeff to say. Symmetra had a hire from within contract that I took advantage of. I used it. Legally, I was fine, but Jeff may be bummed. I don't know. So I would say don't put yourself on the line for me. Sure. Yeah. Jeff's the man. Like, I really like Jeff as a person. He's a super cool dude. I love the stuff you guys have been doing. I mean, it depends. I'm interviewing. I'm in the process with other people. I would not turn down an opportunity to chat and at least discuss it. As long as Jeff doesn't hold any, like, negative feelings about it. I would commiserate with him and say, yeah, the manager I had at that company ended up being a snake. They don't work there anymore because they're that much of a snake, and they drove away half the team because they were that much of a snake. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, no charge, I don't give a shit. If you and Johnny want to come on stream and talk about some AI stuff, we can schedule something, man. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I'd really like to do that. Regardless of, like, any, you know, anything else. I'm happy to do that, for sure. I think that'd be some really fun content. Like, you guys are doing really awesome AI, ML-driven, like, awesomeness. So, yeah. Just let me know. Yeah, for sure. Like, if there's something to promote, that would be especially valuable, but even if you wanted to establish just an hour of chatting and do your own blog thing from it, like you and Johnny, and you have me as, like, an occasional guest, cool, man. I don't know, right? Not for, like, your official, like, podcasty whatever stuff, but yeah, I want to help promote anything you guys are doing. Right? I really liked the people at Fresh. I was a little bummed on being pushed toward the contractor thing because it ended up making me feel alienated from the company, because I get it. Legally, you guys got to make sure I don't get treated as an employee. That's no one's fault other than the laws around it. But yes, I did end up feeling a bit left out, right? At the point at which I had been at the company for 5 years, there was nothing about it because I was a contractor, you know? I think it depends. Like, I'm open to both, but the contract thing would probably then have to be under the stipulation that, yes, I'm doing stuff for other people, right? I'm probably going to look for a full-time gig no matter what, but I'm not going into any office, and a full-time gig that would allow me to stream any portion of my work, right? That's what I'm mainly looking for. I'd love to do some work in the morning and then do my own, like, personal stuff in the afternoon, as far as, like, my stream goes. I know, right? Beggars can't be choosers, but that would be my ideal situation. So again, I'd like to open up the conversation about it, but I don't want to like commit to anything. So again, like, yeah, if you want to chat some other time, let me know. Right? Off stream, I think would be an easier conversation. Then we can like really discuss and do some of that. But yes, I have no hard feelings towards anybody at the company. At all. I think Jeff is awesome, actually. You and Johnny are like a big part of like my happy thoughts and happy memories towards the company, you know? And also just like, yeah, the teams I led for projects, you know? I look back on all of it very fondly. I'll put it that way. But I did get a massive level up salary-wise going to the company after. I just had a way worse boss. Anyway, let me shout this out. Yes, I am between jobs right now, Hacks. The company I was at had to lay people off due to budgetary concerns. I'm pretty sure like our entire team got laid off, which is a bummer. Now the interest rates have gone down, they might be able to get more investment. We'll see. But yes, I'm currently looking. I've interviewed at some DevRel companies. I've interviewed at some, or not, I mean, I've applied to a bunch more. I've interviewed at some like not DevRel roles, and you know, that's fine. But my biggest like thing that I'd be stoked on is stuff I could do here on stream that forces me to like do that during the first part of the day, and then I can do my own stuff during the later half of the day. That would be the goal. But yeah, how you doing, Coding with Strangers? Thank you for those gifted subs, dude. So, Taco Bandit, Sublig, and Rumple Foreskin. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Sublig is my absolute first sub. Now, they haven't kept it up. That's fine. I get it. No big deal. Yeah, that would be like the biggest thing, I think. Being able to utilize what I've built up as a community here towards a job. I think there's a lot of value in that. I've had 101,000 watch hours over the past year here on Twitch. Just on this channel. That's kind of insane, isn't it? It's kind of insane. 101,000 watch hours within the past year on Twitch here. That's so crazy, man. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're building up. We're doing our thing. Obviously, during company streams, the whiskey would not happen. Duh. During the part that's like towards a company versus my own time, the whiskey would not be a thing there. It is a lot of hours. I streamed maybe 2,000 myself. At an average viewership of 50 plus, 101,000 actually works out math-wise, doesn't it? I stream a lot, though. That's really like the biggest thing that makes those numbers, right? Yeah, exactly. It adds up so much quicker than you'd expect it to. So yeah, Elisha, again, biggest thing, I want to help promote whatever you guys are doing. No cost, no whatever, right? I've realized that I have a platform in which I can help promote people that I'm a fan of. Which is why, you know, I did that, oh, shit, I'm gonna forget it. There was a stream we did with some guests where I posted that whole YouTube video and everything, and it was fantastic. There was no money exchange. I was just promoting a thing in which, I'm gonna forget his name now, too. Oh my god, I'm forgetting all the names. But basically, like, a longtime viewer and supporter of this stream was working at a startup, and I helped them promote a thing they did. Not because, like, there was any money exchanging hands, but because they're awesome and I want to help support them. And in the same way, any of y'all out there, we could schedule a stream. If you've been here, you've been putting in the work, you've been helping and doing what you can on Twitter and whatever, right? Reposting, shouting me out, things like that. I am happy to pay that back in a way that, like, helps, like, support what y'all do. And for people like Lish there, I mean, you've already put in the work of just being awesome, and I used to work with you, so, like, yeah. Anything you want to promote, man. I'm down. Let's just schedule it. Let me know. Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. Like, I just want to help promote it. So, regardless of Fresh or any of that other stuff, nah, man. Yeah, you, Johnny, you've built up enough goodwill. I'm happy to promote anything you guys do. Just let's schedule it. Let's make it happen. I'll even create a like a cal.com link if you want to actually, like, schedule it, like, officially in some way. I would say, let me get a job here soon before I can really, like, buckle down on that. Because I'm currently, like, focusing on my cal.com availability for, like, interviews and stuff. Alright, back to what we're doing. Yeah. I rant, I rave. That's really the best part of this stream, isn't it? So yeah, we got our marketing site. Real quick, anyone with feedback that wants to discuss what I've done with this marketing site, I would love feedback on that. We're not doing that specifically right now. What we're working on here is a time zone bug, and we're going to keep hacking out this time zone logic. So let's keep doing that. And I think we're already at the point where I think our bug actually lies. Rather than adding a day, should I actually be subtracting a day? But instead, we need to faithfully reproduce all of this logic. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I appreciate it. We did some major refactoring to make some of the other, like, some of the sections better. Any feedback you have or any fixes you want to make? Again, you're already a contributor, so it's real easy to address any problems you got. Ah, okay. So dark mode version. If you want to create an issue about that, go for it. Yeah, that'd be great. It's a very simple, easy fix. Yeah, I'd love an issue for that. It also makes the repo look better if an issue gets created and we can resolve it, right? metrics-wise, you know. So yeah, feel free to create an issue. If you want to make a PR beyond that issue, go for it. I feel like that's something we could just do tomorrow instead. So you don't have to do any code towards it, but if you want to create an issue for it and screenshot things, that would be awesome. If not, I'll try and remember it, and we'll address it after this time zone bug. I don't think this time zone bug is going to be as simple as I think it is, so yeah, at that point, an issue would be nice because I'm going to forget and I'm going to get like knee deep in this time zone bug. And that's going to be rough. So the part we care about, right? We got these timestamps. Oh, hold up. We don't have these timestamps. We need to do some, like, addition. Oh, so what you're looking for is docs. Yeah, the marketing page is the docs site. Yeah, so docs is the marketing site. Oh, four-wheel, that's another good issue. Should I somehow honor your light mode, dark mode stuff from the main site, too? I don't think we've done any light mode, dark mode for the app, so the app doesn't even have a dark mode. That's not some bad feedback. Again, four-wheel gator, like, please, yeah, leave a... Yeah. If you could leave an issue about that, that's actually really good. Yeah, dark mode for the app, we just don't have that yet. I haven't done it yet. So, yeah, if you can leave some feedback as an issue or whatever, we can address that here in the coming weeks. Like, no problem. Yeah, no worries. Four-wheel, like, I really appreciate that. Yeah. I knew what you meant. Yeah, you're good. Hop and. So you're gonna hop, and then you're onto the GitHub. But yeah, what's up, Widgeler? Mr. Sir. Yeah, that is really good feedback. If you were to manually toggle that, we should honor it when you go to the app. That is amazing feedback. Yeah, please create an issue. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. But okay, so the next bit, we need the start timestamp and end timestamp, and that is the things added together. So let start of today timestamp plus zeroed start timestamp Hey, what's up, Xmetrics? Thank you for the lurk over on the YouTube. Yeah. Everyone lurking on the YouTube is massively helping me out. Like, massively helping me out. So much so that I'm going to repaste the link, even though I know y'all are sick of me saying it. I get it. It's fine. But yeah, if I can get to the 4,000 watch hours, over on YouTube? That would be awesome. Like, so awesome. Oh my God. Like, yeah, that would be the best. If I could hit partner there on YouTube, it would incentivize more videos to be made. I have a video that we watched earlier on stream. Some of y'all haven't seen it. Spoiler alert. It's actually about macros in JavaScript and TypeScript. Yeah, abuse the shorts. I haven't done that. Bare minimum, I need to actually make content. So I need to make videos. And then shorts are things I could extract from videos, maybe, right? But I need to make actual, like, videos for YouTube first. Before, like, shorts are even worth it. Right? If I don't have a single video that someone would subscribe to me for, why would I make shorts that people should subscribe to me for? I'm gonna say maybe PM Walls, but instead, you might need to watch the video first. Hold up. Here's the thing. Let's look at the numbers. I'll take a poll and I'll replay that video if you want, right? Poll, should I replay the video for macros in TS? Oh, hold on. No, that doesn't work. Right, we got 3 minutes. I kind of got to go pee a little bit. It's a 12-minute long video. We watched it at the start of stream. People that might not have seen it at the start, this is your chance to actually see it. The no would end up meaning that we keep hacking on the time zone problem that we definitely have right now. Oh, no. So, yeah, PM Walls, no, this is not going to be on YouTube at all until I release it as its own video. Right? This is like an edited video in which I have, like, overlays and all that other BS. So this is a thing that's not even closely at all related to what you're looking at for, like, Go SDKs and marshalling, unmarshalling. Yeah, so the marshalling, unmarshalling is something I did in some VOD that is completely unrelated. If you would like a video about that, that's not bad feedback, actually. I kind of really like that idea. All right, so, right, there are people that have seen the video. Would you be bummed if I replayed that video? Or is now a great time for it? Anyone who has already seen it, now's your time to throw in a no vote because you don't want to see it. Or if you're okay with seeing it again, throw in a yes vote. But I did this like 4 hours ago. So anyone that saw it, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like throw away like your viewership or whatever. The answer is yes. All right, so let me go pee. I'm going to guess the answer is going to be yes because it would be a really hard sell for a lot of people to vote no. All right, so the answer is going to be obviously yes. Let me go use the restroom because I broke the seal. In this video, it's going to be an effective pee break. Yeah, totally. What we're going to end up doing is I need all y'all with really good headphones to let me know what I could improve about the audio. Because I believe you can hear the room around me, like, you know, noise reduction, etc. needs to happen. So let me go pee. I'll BRB. The answer is definitely going to be yes. We're going to play that video. Did I forget to play, like, the P-break screen? I did not forget. I consciously didn't do it. Just simply because some people might not be stoked on seeing the cherub phallus on screen. And I'm not sure how Twitch would treat that with their recent rolling back of okayable nudity. So yes, I didn't do that consciously because I'm actually not sure how Twitch would approach that anymore. And I'm not looking for a ban just for showing the pee fountain from, what is it? The Money Pit? Yeah, I'm not trying to get, like, screwed over because of the pee fountain from Money Pit, okay? Yeah, I just left it, you know? I'll play it eventually. It is the best BRB screen on Twitch. I'm not even arguing that. I think you're absolutely correct. I just didn't want to deal with any fallout because of it, because Twitch is unhinged for content like that. Could you imagine getting a month ban because of something like that? On this stream? Which means I technically can't stream over in gaming either because they would consider that ban evasion? That would be a nightmare. Mm-hmm. I would not put it past Twitch. Exactly. Even though I have every level of mature audience bullshit anyway, right? Even though I have put in the effort for that, yeah, I could still see Twitch being weird about it. Now, technically, you're not wrong. The YouTube stream would go off. The YouTube stream would go off. I almost, like, dude, yeah, don't pay money to Wubby or whatever, right? Don't pay money Wubby or don't pay Wubby or whatever his name is. Yeah, that dude is absolutely gonna milk his ban. It's gonna be the most, like, most profitable stream he's done in years, I'm sure. I know, exactly, Insanities. How dare you say I'm mature? We should migrate the screen under a feature flag. There you go. Yeah, Lorenzo. Now you're thinking with your feature flags. Damn right. Now you're thinking with Vexilla. Ooh. Yeah, we need to turn that into a meme, don't we? Alright, so the idea is that I should definitely replay the video that's a work in progress. Let's go do that. Let's do it right now. Yeah, I'll turn the audio up 100%. Here it is. Anyone with really good headphones, I need your feedback. Like, massively, I need your feedback about this. Oh, well, I just did that. Yeah, anyone with really good headphones, I need your feedback right now. What do I need to fix about it, right? If you got bad headphones, it probably sounds fine. You're not going to hear any, like, major issues. But with good headphones, let me know. All right, so the audio is broken. Every single time I toggle, like, the interface, it breaks. So that sucks. Oh, I will pause the music. Yeah. I just had to make sure that, like, the audio was even working. So, one sec. So, NDI tools, scan converter. Yeah. We pause the music. All right, so I need some really good feedback on the audio for this. This is the start of the video. It's 12 minutes long, and I'm going to actually force myself to not say anything during this so I don't mess up the audio, right? So I don't, like, you know, fiddle with it while people are trying to listen and understand and, you know, see if, like, I messed up the audio somewhere. So I will actually be chatting with my keyboard instead while this happens. Here we go. Engage your ears. Not your rears, your ears, right? It's easy to, you know, hear that one wrong if you have the wrong headphones on.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about macros in TypeScript and JavaScript. Now, macros aren't a part of JavaScript or TypeScript natively, but using some libraries, bundlers, runtimes, and even TypeScript itself, we can actually make macros that solve some stuff for us at compile time instead of runtime. First off, we kind of need to understand what macros actually are. They're a type of code inlining. The code inlining that we're most familiar with are functions, right? So we can have a function, abstract and it makes our outer function that's calling this function actually easier to read as well. One thing to remember though is that functions happen at runtime, which means that there's going to be some overhead to calling it when it calls it from the heap. Instead, compile time macros allow us to basically copy and paste the inner logic of our macro into the place that's calling it without us having to like do that ourselves and without the overhead of calling it at runtime because it's actually been inlined at compile time. It's very useful. In Rust, it's also especially useful because there is no function overload in Rust, which means that when you call a function in Rust, you have to have explicitly defined arguments so that our checker can actually make sure everything is what it says it is, which means that if we were going to do a log statement, it could get a little hairy. In Java,
Real quick, let me just point out, be as fussy as you want, rich codes. I want to make the audio as good as I can. I'm not going to be able to master this any major way. Oh, so Rich, yeah, that thing I would say is fine. That's my desktop PC doing its thing. So that level of critique, I'm not trying to worry about. Does that make sense, Rich Codes? I'm caring about like the main core content. The things you might recognize as in continuity, right? Where like the continuity is flawed, is a problem. I'm recording from a shotgun microphone from a little bit away, right? I have a shotgun mic over on the thing. I'm not positive that's what I'm using because it's a little trickier to know which microphone it's actually using. But yeah, I would say continuity, worry about that a little less. Just focus on the overall viewability. I am using a shotgun mic, but maybe I didn't configure it correctly. That's entirely possible. It's connected up via like XLR, but I mean, it's over on a thing that I'm not looking at, so it might be using the wrong mic. I think the biggest thing to evaluate the audio from is there too much reverb? Or is there, like, too much environment audio? Sorry, I got the burps right now. The hiccups, even, right? So before I let this thing keep going... Oh, man, I got the hiccups already. Pouring another beverage will fix it, right? Okay. Oh, all right. So, Ryan, it does not currently sound like a tin can. That is awesome feedback, and I appreciate that. With my shitty headphones I got in right now, it does kind of sound like a tin can. So anyway, I'm going to restart it, or not restart, but like continue on from where we are. And I appreciate the feedback. You guys are helping, for sure.
We have log statements that allow any type, whatever, and it'll just log it out as a string for us, no problem. In Rust, they don't have that, right? Instead, you'd have to have a log int function, or a log string function, or a log double, or a log whatever function. You'd have to really like make a bunch of this stuff. It would be really annoying and to have to memorize all these functions. Instead, you can have a macro that defines the semantics of whatever types you pass to it, and at compile time, it will actually inline all the logic for jamming it all together and coercing the types and printing these things as expected. There's also C++. Rust macros actually solved this problem for us, but C++ still has this issue because of legacy support and things like that. And I'd like to dig into this issue a little bit because I think it's interesting. The tricky thing about macros in C++ is that they use textual replacement. And I'll give you an example of why that can be an issue. And it can lead to some very tricky bugs, or at least unexpected bugs.
So a harsh noise gate? No, I'm using an expander, which is similar. It's like a de-hummer, right? The amount of hum in the background, etc., I tried to remove because I thought there was a bit too much, like, reverb. No, not a de-esser. It's like literally like a de-reverber. Right? Technically, they call it a de-hum in DaVinci Resolve. No, I was not going to do any background music. Like, zero background music. Do y'all think I need background music? I'm curious about that. So from speech to dead silence. Yeah, I get that. That's a little trickier. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do BG music. Okay, yeah. Should I restart? I'm just, not restart, but like start playing again, or, yeah, should I listen to the feedback first? Go back 20 seconds? Oh, shit. I don't even know how to do that. I'll go to there? Oh, so Mr. Bankster, as far as the cropping, no, that's my fault. I should be standing closer to the fucking camera. Yeah, I'm actually slightly out of focus. So for this one, the cropping, I'm probably not going to change. There's a jump back. Oh, there is a jump back 10 seconds. Oh, hey. You were not wrong. Shows how much I use Media Player, huh? I think I did it. Whatever. No, good call. I'll use that in the future. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Ryan. I did not know that was a button. It sounds like I've crunched too much of the top and bottom. Okay. So this is a Windows, like, I do my video editing on Windows, on my gaming PC, right? Because I have enough, like, graphics and other things I need to do that would benefit from having a proper graphics card, and my Mac Mini has 0. All right, so let's replay and keep going.
Bit of a foot gun with C++ macros. Rust macros have actually solved this problem for us, but C++ still has this issue because of legacy support and things like that.
So I've chopped off too much of the audio. I get it.
The tricky thing about
I tried to eliminate reverb.
is that they use textual replacement. And I'll give you an example of why that can be an issue. But it can lead to some very tricky.
Hold on. YouTube, yes, good call. I have the audio very quiet. I'm gonna crank it. I hope it's not too loud now, but yep. Yeah, everyone on YouTube, have fun. This is what you asked for.
Bugs, or at least unexpected bugs. So if we take a macro, let's call it square, and all it's going to do is multiply a number or an expression that we pass to it by itself and give us the result back. So if we did square of 5, we would get 5 times 5, which results in 25. Now, what if we were to pass 2 plus 3 instead of 5? It evaluates to 5, doesn't it? But remember, it's a textual replacement. So instead, it's going to pass 2 plus 3 into it where x goes. So it's going to be 2 plus 3 times 2 plus 3. That is not going to be 25. That's going to be 11 due to order of operations. So if we're not careful about wrapping the arguments that we pass into our macros, we could actually get very different results than we're expecting. But wait, why are we talking about Rust and C++? This is a JavaScript TypeScript video. So let's talk about some libraries you could use with JavaScript TypeScript to get macros into your code base. So one would be Sweet.js, which is a bit older. It's maybe 6 or 7 years since it's had a significant update, and that might be okay. It might especially be okay if you need to use it in a legacy code base, such as Gulp or Grunt based, and maybe before Babel existed. If you do have Babel, a more modern and up-to-date and maintained tool is Babel Plugin Macros by Kent C. Dodds. I also saw some other heavy hitters in there, such as Sunil Pai from PartyKit. So there's a lot of really good developers that have made Babel Plugin Macros robust, tested, and documented and usable in the way that we want to use it. If you ever used twin.macro, which is a way of using Tailwind inside of styled components, you actually used Babel Plugin Macros under the hood already. Another cool implementation of macros for JavaScript TypeScript comes from Bun. I think in version 0.6.0, they added this feature for macros, and they use a very cool new syntax called import attribute syntax. Now, keep in mind that import attribute syntax is stage 3, and stage 3 means that it's not fully ratified as a specification yet. It's still a proposal. But remember that stage 3 is still like, it's gone through enough review, it's gone through enough criticism that it's ready for people to start using it. So people have criticized Bun for using import attribute syntax a little early. Some people have said that it's a manipulation of what it was intended for. But I think actually Bun is proving out a use case for it that maybe wasn't intended, but could totally be useful. And that's why it's still a proposal. They're looking for new use cases that they might have missed. So it's very cool. But one thing to remember is when you implement a spec too soon, you could run into issues. This actually happened with the TypeScript team when they did some decorator stuff too soon. They used decorators when I believe it was only at stage 2, and then it turns out that people went back to the drawing board and re-implemented some of the specifications of how decorators work. So now, basically, anything below TypeScript 5.0 is using the old version of decorators, and it's a breaking change to upgrade to the new version of decorators. For the most part, like, it looks the same to us as consumers, but the internals under the hood are what changed, and that's why it was a breaking change for TypeScript. They actually vowed to never implement something too soon again because of the amount of churn that it caused. Now, I don't think that's a problem for Bun because, again, this is stage 3, and that's the perfect moment to try these things out, to actually show the new use cases, and I think the criticisms are actually unfounded. You might be thinking I brought up decorators for no reason whatsoever than talking about the spec proposal process and the dangers of opting in too early to a spec, when instead, it's actually at the core of this technique I'm going to show you using just raw TypeScript. Now, I didn't come up with this technique. This technique actually comes from TSOA, which is TypeScript Open API, and it's a way of generating an open API spec from your TypeScript code, which is really cool, and it's actually the same thing I'm doing with my code too. I took major inspiration from it, especially because it is a zero runtime decorator. It's a no-op. It just returns straight from the function that is your decorator. Why is that important? Because who wants to incur extra runtime overhead for something that is only meant for build time stuff? All it does is take in a typed set of arguments that will actually break your build if you're passing the wrong arguments, etc., which means we get full type safety of this route decorator. that is more useful than maybe doc blocks that require extra editor tooling and things like that to actually make sure are parsed properly. You can break your whole build if someone is doing the route decorator wrong. Now, I am also using this route decorator that I have for generating my OpenAPI spec, but I wanted to do it in a slightly different way. I wanted to add some extra metadata myself, and it didn't make sense to fork their entire library just for this one little bit because I had different things I wanted to do, and the structure of my project is very different from like their expected project structure. But I still think it's a really cool technique, and I wanted to make sure I shouted out TSOA. But let's look at some of the implementation details of how my decorator works. So first, when we look at it, we see there's the summary, the description, the path, and the tags. These are all very important for creating a readable OpenAPI spec so that people understand what this route's for, how it's doing it. We also see the method for calling this route, and we can see what headers might be passed to it. Right now I'm using a variable for common headers. We'll dig into why that's a little tricky here in a second. We can also see that I'm setting the request and the response schema, and even the error schema if we're going to have one of those. So there's a lot that we can pass to this that then gets combed and generated and jammed together into an OpenAPI file so that we can have a nice clean documentation file for developers internally at my company or developers external making plugins to use. Is very cool and useful. Another thing you might see is public here. That's actually because I have two separate APIs. One is a public API and one is a private API. The private API would be for me as a dev in my applications and various things, and the public API would be possibly for consumers of SDKs or maybe even plugin developers. We also see here that request schema and response schema, those are just strings. They relate to some types that I have in another file that gets combed by another script I have to actually turn those into JSON files that make sense for OpenAPI to list out, what the payloads are and what the responses are. Another interesting thing that I was mentioning is that common headers value there. It's just a variable, and at the time that we're combing this decorator, we don't know what that variable evaluates to. In the same way, when we see defined errors, we see that I'm just using 400, 401, 404. Well, what if I wanted to use an enum for error.client error, error.unauthorized, error.notfound? Those would also need to be evaluated in a special way when combing things because, again, what it evaluates to is unknown to the AST parser when we're doing things. So there's a little bit of extra work. For the defined errors, it just made sense to put the strings in. For the common headers, that's just an extra thing I ended up doing. But if I wanted to add extra headers that were acceptable here, I'd probably just do them as raw strings because we'd have that available at AST time. The decorator I just showed you is only part of it though. So once I have this decorator, I actually need to parse it and run it through some scripting. And let's take a look at what that script is actually doing, because this is where kind of like the main logic and meat of my code actually happens. So let's take a look. First, I have to comb through all of the index files in this project. This project is using Architect for Lambda-based APIs. It's just nice to have it scale to 0 if no one's using it. So for someone bootstrapping, I think AWS Lambda is a great idea, but I digress. For each file that I do find, I need to look for a class. And in that class, I would have a decorator on that class. Decorators just tend to work best on classes for now, at least. Once I've found the decorators, I make sure that the name is route because I might be using other decorators somewhere. I also want to grab the arguments, and once I get those arguments, I need to parse them into a string basically because I need to do a bunch of magic, and this is where that variable for common headers kind of kicks in. So I need to actually define common headers by importing it into this script and then injecting it into this string that I'm going to be jamming together before the resulting stringified options that I have. Now, the reason that is because I'm about to eval this thing. I know, eval, not a great idea, but it does allow me to kind of like process some of these variables that would have just been strings that would have been undefined because they're not in that context. So now I can evaluate them, turn them into a string, eval that into an object that I can then return out to the rest of my script. Once I've gotten out to the rest of my script, it's pretty much just a bunch of taking the variables from that route options object and jamming them together into my OpenAPI spec. So a lot of this is just string concatenation and formatting strings and things like that. So the logic isn't really that complicated. The part I really wanted to show you was combing over the AST, using the class declarations, and then looking for the decorators, and then doing my magic. Now, I know, I jumped around a bit. I might have missed some things. If you have some questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd also love to see some comments about what you might do with macros, using either Babel plugin macros, Sweet.js, or possibly even Bun. I'd love to hear some use cases for ideas I haven't even thought about before. Check out the blog post by Bun, which will be linked below. And also, I'll be coming out with a video about ASTs. ASTs are actually how I do the crawling of the entire code base to grab that route decorator. So I'll have a video about ASTs coming out soon. If you want to get notified when that comes out, maybe leave a subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Cheers.
All right, so yeah, I think that was a big thing. How do y'all feel about it? Yeah, let's get back to the thing we're actually trying to do. Yeah. Let me just switch screen. A dev is a regular YouTube viewer. You can look at, like, Primogen's fucking numbers, right? Like, he is optimizing for actual viewers, not dev viewers. He is making his stuff entertaining regardless of who you are. I'm sorry, like, I disagree there, Rich Codes Web. I think regular viewers and tech viewers are actually the same thing, and you need to optimize for the same stuff. At the end of the day, as Mr. Bankster pointed out, a technical viewer can just pause the screen where they give a shit about seeing the code. Right? So that's like my main feedback to that. As Mr. Bankster pointed out, like, yeah, they can just pause the video, you know? If they want to see the code base. Highlighting stuff with arrows is a great bit of feedback. Yeah, I think that would be tough and something I'd actually focus on for the next video. I don't think there's a lot I could do for this one that would make it that much better. Taking it into the next video is really good feedback, though. Right? So I agree with that, Martis. I agree with that, other people that were watching. Yes. As far as taking that feedback and making sure that I use arrows to point at the thing that people care about. Yep, I think that's it. I don't think I would gain a lot from that right now, because it would cause me to delay the video another week or two, possibly more, and that would be tough. Yeah, highlighting specific blocks. I get you. So, Rich Codes, I think you're right. Yeah, focusing the right section is a huge, awesome bit of feedback. Blurring the other stuff that doesn't matter. Awesome bit of feedback. I think it's tough. I might not necessarily blur it, but I might, like, dim the stuff you're not looking at. That way you can still see it. Yeah, I think that's the main bit, right? A lot of this is something I could do in the next video. I'm not necessarily trying to change this one unless any of this feedback is something you think needs to be changed for this video. But I think me and PM Walls are agreeing that, like, this would pass a current video approach, but the learning that we're getting from, like, your comments is towards the next video. And I 1000% agree. The next video, I need to call out specific code segments, all that. This video so far is already too far delayed that I'm not going to delay it any further. Your feedback is for the next video. Other than, did I mess up the audio? So yeah, fast expands. Pretty shitty comment. Right? For what we're looking for right now as feedback. Come on, man. So the audio sounds fine. All right, cool. I think we're good. Anyone here chiming in on, like, good headphones? Did it still sound fine? Yeah, so fast expands, like, come on, man. Let me do this for you. Let me help you recognize how boring of a statement that is. Oh, no, keyboard's out of place. Ah, shit. So fast expands, you're number 475 that we recorded. Do you think what you're saying is actually valuable? Or is it the same shit other people have said? At what point would you, personally, be tired of comments about it? You would have hit that number at 100. We're already at almost 500. Can you recognize that my patience is wearing thin for those comments? Can you please just move on from it? You'd never get tired of people commenting on that on your own fucking desktop? I think you're just lying to us, and that's how we can recognize that you're probably not someone I want to chat with. Can you just be honest? Be a human being about it? You'd never have that many open? Well, fuck off. Like, dude, how much do you think we actually want to respond and chat with someone who's going to pretend that they'd never have this many tabs open? You fucking liar, okay? At the end of the day, do you think your comments are welcome? And based upon the number I showed you, they are not. Yeah, so fuck off. Right? Do you want to be banned at this point? Or do you want to phrase things properly? I can ban you real quick if you can't move past the very obvious thing that most people would chat about and is not related at all to the things that we just dealt with and conversed about. Are you willing to be someone that's worth chatting to? There, fast expands. Because your low effort comments about tabs indicate not. I'm giving you a chance to be better than that. If you don't want to, yeah, we can just ban you. That's easy. That's the easiest thing. All right, there we go. Thank you. I'm going to unban another person too. Someone that did an unban request. We'll see if they actually want to be here too. Ooh, so there you go. Fast expands. Hell yeah. There's some links to feature flags in general, the feature toggle thing on Wikipedia, and then the link to my repo and all that stuff. So check those out. Thank you for not making the tabs a hill you want to be, like, buried upon. Not even, like, die upon, but buried upon. So I get you. Thank you. Appreciate you. So, Martis, video is perfectly fine. Most people don't even care when I check some YouTube video with terrible audio and shitty quality, but they are still popular. Yes, I get it there, Martis. Is there something I could make better with a minimal amount of effort? Right? So, Martis on YouTube, is there like one very simple thing I could solve with that video that's already recorded? And then feedback that I could take into the next video that is not necessarily something that has to be done for that video, right? So I think we got a lot of feedback already about what I could do for future videos. But we don't need to necessarily judge that video by that same criteria. And at the end of the day, it might be totally fine. So I think we're there. I think we got there, man. Nailed it. Hell yeah. I think we're good. So all of y'all, everyone out there, just got a free sneak preview of the next YouTube video that I will be releasing within the next, day or two. No, so Fast Expands, I'm the idea guy. I just happen to be the idea guy that makes applications. No, Insanities, thank you. So I don't move a lot. Yeah, I get that Insanities. In future videos, I will be standing closer to the camera. I stood too far away for that one. But I will stand closer in the next couple. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Insanities. Good feedback. That was something I already felt already. Yeah. I will be somewhat rigid because I want, continuity between clips, etc. But yeah, no, I get that. Ooh, so Rich, that's good feedback too. Let me put it this way, Rich. What you're seeing in that most recent video is already more relaxed than previous videos I have made. So I think it's just going to take time and me making more videos in general for that to happen. I think that's just going to be like a practice thing. Because technically, someone already shouted out that they've watched my previous videos and that was more relaxed than the previous ones, right? Insanities, yes. I am very much a visual speaker. No, so Rich, I do the same thing, but when I'm recording a video via the good camera and all that stuff, I do multiple takes. And those multiple takes are gonna feel a bit rehearsed and rigid. It's gonna be me making sure I'm not rubbing my hands together this way while I'm doing it, because that was some major feedback I received previously. I'd rather seem stiff rather than rubbing my hands together as if I'm trying to, make some money off you. Right? No, that is not all in one take. So X Factor, the fact that you have to ask means you didn't notice how many different takes there were. You didn't even notice the lack of continuity light-wise behind me from the section I had to record the next day. You didn't even notice, did you? Now you probably could. You didn't even notice that I had my sleeves pulled up in one scene and not in the other. Right? So I'm okay with that too. So yes, no, none of that is in one fell swoop. I do sections in one fell swoop. But I also do transitions from scene to scene in which you might see an overlay and I'm switching to the next clip and I'm actually talking in the next clip, but it's like a transition. I wasn't wearing the flower dress, so yeah, Insanities, you might want to, just do something else. Figure that out. I don't know, man. I'm way more chill here on stream, obviously, duh. I think, besides the people that record from their stream, the videos they record outside of stream, they have the same vibe, right? So don't necessarily judge like the Primogen's videos, but Theo does not record every single video on his stream on a Wednesday. He has videos he records in a totally different way. Have you seen any of his newer videos? Are they similar? Is it the same thing you are critiquing me for? I don't know. My stream cam is great, but it's not 4K. None of this you're seeing on stream is 4K. I am recording the other thing at 4K so I can actually release 4K videos for the eventual like use case of 4K. Yes, I get it, Rich. You should probably sub, wink. You prefer stream cam over the 4K cam? Interesting. Huh. Interesting. All right, that's good feedback. I don't, but okay. Yes, so four wheel, I need to be standing closer to the camera in the YouTube video I just showed you. Yeah, the focus is slightly off. It's really hard to notice until you see that my hands are actually like way more focused. It's hard to actually notice until you notice that part, and then you can't unsee it. A little washed out and extra pale. Oh, I mean, that's the most accurate representation of me you've ever seen. I am that pale. This right here is not real. This is color corrected. Right here. This is color correction. So I should fix the color correction I got on the other camera. I can do that. That's easy. But I just want to point out, I am that pale. I am, like, massively that pale. The sun, like, weren't you here earlier when I told people that the sun is trying to kill me? Yeah, the sun is trying to kill me. I am that pale. Yes, that is actually accurate. I look ill pale in person too. Who here has met me in person and disagrees? I look ill pale style in person as well. Don't I? PM Walls, you might not have the reference because we were in a dimly lit arcade bar. But I am, aren't I? I assume you don't mean me specifically and you mean just Washington in general? Yeah, I get that. I get that fast. Totally. All right, let me play some music. Let me crank down the music because it would blow out your eardrums. Not just your rear drums, but your eardrums too. No, I get it, Martis. Thank you over on YouTube. It is a good critique. Four wheel, why are we insistent on putting out 4K? Because it is future proof. It means our videos are actually like relevant into the next 10 years. Oh shit, sorry YouTube. You're right, I didn't crank you down yet. That was so loud. I am so sorry. Thank you, X Factor. No, I get it, GS Volt. If I could be less pale, though, that would be worth it. So we'll do that. Yeah, I got some color correction to do. That's good feedback. Any other feedback anyone wants to throw out there for me? YouTube and its successors will upscale eventually. That's fine, but upscaling is meh. Be less pale sounds like a Mean Girls line? Yeah, you're not wrong. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen. Do I think JSTS macros will still be relevant in the future? I can't predict that future. All I can predict is the fact that 4K will be a thing. That's it, insanities, right? Like, trying to predict any other future is impossible. But knowing that 4K will be the thing eventually, like, yeah, you can't fight that. 4K will be the resolution we all consume video at within the next 10 years, for sure. Whether JSTS macros are valuable, I don't know, man. That's not my problem. But as far as the quality of my video, I can predict that, and I know that 4K will be a thing. It will be the standard resolution we actually consume video at within the next 10 years, for sure. So 4-wheel, yeah, maybe 8K, maybe some other thing. If I produce 4K video, the 4K still has a longer life cycle than 1080p. So 4-wheel, maybe you're missing the fact that I actually have 480p videos from 20 years ago that fucking suck. Twitter does not upscale them. They look fucking awful. If I had not been concerned about bandwidth, etc., I would have left them at the standard resolution they were and done some other shit. But no, man, right? If I look at 20 years ago, the video quality 20 years ago needed is not the quality that the 10 years after needed. Any content from that era is immediately outdated. Yeah, no matter what, 4K is setting me up for the next 10 years, regardless of 8K and beyond. 4K is better than 1080p. We will look at 1080p the same way we look at 480p. It's a fucking issue. Whereas if I release 4K, I'm good for 20 years instead of 10. Upscaling from 4K is better than upscaling from 1080. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, 4K is gonna last a long fucking time. Releasing video in 4K has a longer lifespan. Abso-fucking-lutely, 4-wheel. Oh my god, dude. Watch a 1080 video and then watch a 4K on your, like, maxed out full screen. You can tell a difference. Like 4-wheel, I would simply say, try it. Now, fast expands, take it easy. That's harsher than it should be. But still, like, yeah, 4K is noticeably better than 1080 on almost every monitor available to us besides mobile phones. All right, so did we finish out this logic? No, but we at least put a little work into it. That said, I'm at the point where I want to eat some food, I want to play some video games, and I want to come back here fresh tomorrow, hacking out this thing we're doing and establishing better logic for that time zone flip over. And we have not done that yet. We're working on it. We got some stuff to do. Yeah, we got some work to actually do here on stream tomorrow. Yes, this logic will be portable, and we can do that logic, but then we got to fix the bug that this logic actually exposes, and we're already past the time frame in which this bug is broken. Now, should we establish some, like, unit tests that validate this bug regardless of time of day? Yeah, that too. So we're going to have to do that as well. Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. Gonna happen, man. Is that a problem we have to do today, though? No. Not even close. We just need to go raid someone. I see Acorn with a huge crowd. We need to support Acorn with a huge crowd. I just want to shout out, Acorn kills it, and yeah, Acorn's throwing stuff character in Baldur's Gate 3 is fucking amazing. She chucks sausages at people and murders them with them. Right? Could you imagine dying because someone threw a sausage at you hard enough? Yeah, that would suck. That's what Acorn does to people in Baldur's Gate 3. It's pretty good. It's pretty awesome, actually. Oh, it's more than that. Oh, they got bonuses and buffs and all sorts of stuff. It's actually magical. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So yeah, Acorn is the thrower on our team. Even in, like, the evil playthrough. I mean, it's kind of evil throwing a sausage at someone and killing them, right? That's pretty damn evil, right? So yeah, nailed it. So let's go say hi to Acorn. I'm going to end the YouTube stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out, for lurking, for chilling. We got stuff to do tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow for sure. So later, YouTube.